I'm Liv, chronically online host, and every day we talk about life, relationships, internet chaos, bad decisions, awkward moments, and all the things that spiral way faster than they should. Welcome to This Escalated Quickly.
Huck, I am officially curating a tasting menu of my worst dates, and no, you may not order just the salad. I dare you to pick a course and see how much chaos you can emotionally digest. Spoiler, someone ends up paying in petty receipts.
Promise, tonight's menu moves fast. An amuse-bouche of the most eyebrow-raising openers, an appetizer of breadcrumbing bruschetta that smells faintly of dishonesty, a main course that is a full-on catastrophic entree, and a dessert that's petty enough to make your group chat applaud. I'll toss in a palate cleanser, a heart take you didn't know you needed, and by the end, we'll tally the emotional bill. It's going to be ridiculous and cathartic, and I promise not to judge you for laughing. Mostly.
Section 1. Amuse-bouche and appetizer. Awkward openers and breadcrumbing bruschetta. Let's start small because the tiny moments are where the rot begins. Imagine a message that opens with, "You look like you'd be good at baking. Are you into sourdough?" And then immediately follows with 6 passive-aggressive gifts of bread. Like, what was the plan there? Were we supposed to bond over gluten? I once got, "You seem fun. Not like my ex, don't worry." That's not an opener. It's a hostage situation. These tiny crimes set the tone. A man who asks if my favorite color is Netflix red had the audacity to ask me out for coffee and then never actually pick a time. Classic breadcrumbing bruschetta. He sprinkles little crumbs of attention, enough to keep you checking your phone at 2 a.m., but never enough to actually feed you. And the worst part, the crumbs come with a PR campaign. Charming 1 minute, mysteriously busy the next, then reappearing with a meme like he never disappeared.
I'll tell you a true breadcrumbing masterpiece. We matched, had a flirty week of texts, emojis, small talk, plans. Then he ghosted for 5 days. On day 6, he sent, "Sorry, my phone died." Then the gourmet breadcrumb. "Also, I got into a new hobby, so I'm busy, but maybe next week." Next week came and went. The following month, he celebrated his new hobby with a series of sunrise photos and many stories. I was left with the bruschetta and no entree, plus a lingering sense of betrayal I've reserved for only the most theatrical flakes. Lesson: when someone treats your time like an appetizer, they're not coming back for the entree. Section 2, main course, the catastrophic entree. Buckle up because this is the one that will make you clutch your tea like it's evidence. Picture this, a dinner date planned at a charming little place. He's 3 minutes late and shows up wearing a t-shirt that says, "I respect women," and jeans that have seen decisions worse than ours. He orders something adventurous and then asks the waiter if the guacamole is gluten-free. Halfway through, he decides to reveal that he once lost his phone in a museum and blames the security guard, then segues into a story about unpasteurized cheese and a debt collection agency. Fine, I'm intrigued, until he insists on splitting dessert by who told the worst childhood story. He wins, of course, because his childhood was apparently a low-budget adventure film. Then, and this is the pièce de résistance, he signals to the server for the check, counts cash like we're back in middle school economics, and then asks me to Venmo and her my share on the same date where he loudly proclaimed his love for paying and chivalry. The chaos doesn't stop at bad vibes. At the end of dessert, he suggests a quick detour to show me something. We stroll to a random bookstore where he insists on introducing him to his friend, an actual mannequin dressed in a trench coat in the display window. He whispers, "This is Tony," like it's normal to have a mannequin with a backstory. I laughed because what else do you do when confronted with someone who treats reality like fan fiction? I left with a receipt in my bag and the peculiar feeling that I'd just been part of a living meme. There's stakes here too. Real emotions that made me expect something and then had it folded into a napkin. That's what makes these stories land. You don't just laugh at the absurdity. You remember that awkward, tiny hurt of being misread. But also, and I'll admit this proudly, I paid for the taxi because I'm dramatic and petty in the most inconvenient way. I took a photo of the receipt, added a caption, and later sent it in our group chat as evidence of my emotional injuries. Dessert tastes sweeter when it's documented. Section 3. Dessert and palate cleanser. Petty pudding and a hot take. Dessert was, of course, petty pudding. After ghosting for 2 weeks, he tried to re-enter my life with a long, nostalgic message about the vibe we had. I did not respond immediately. I waited exactly 47 hours and then sent a single photo. Me in a very obvious new sweater, holding a very obvious slice of cake with a caption, "This is the face of someone who does not reply to breadcrumbs." The message read, "Hey stranger." My reply, "Hey receipt." He was confused. The crowd was satisfied. I confess, petty actions are a form of self-care. Document it, relish it, then move on. Hot take palate cleanser. Dating apps should have a return to sender button. Imagine you could send people back with a succinct reason. Took me for an appetizer. Too many mannequin friends. Won't Venmo for dessert. It would save everyone time and create a new economy of closure. Also, can we normalize telling the truth? Not the brutal kind that ruins people, but the simple, boring honesty. I'm not ready for this. Or, I ghosted because I was scared. You'd be amazed how many people would rather invent "my phone died" than say they were overwhelmed. Call me old-fashioned, but I'd prefer an awkward admission to a slow drip of breadcrumb toast. Bill, recap, and CTA. Tallying the emotional bill. Appetizer, 1 bruised ego. Main course, second-hand embarrassment and a mannequin in a trench coat. Dessert, petty pudding served cold and documented for posterity. Final verdict, I still paid the taxi, but I also left with a story that made me laugh for weeks. That, my chaotic friends, is a fair trade. If this episode made you laugh, wince, or want to share your own dating disaster, then I need you to do me a tiny favor. Leave a review, tell me which course you would order from the worst date tasting menu, and DM me the receipts, metaphorical or otherwise. I read them, I cry laugh at them, and sometimes I use them as material. Consent implied, obviously. Tell me your worst course pick, leave that review, and be kind to your future selves. Stay chaotic.